Alright, YouTube, what's going on? So I was about to head to bed because I got work in the morning, but I felt it was necessary to come on here and make a response to this one topic that I came across because it just it just got me completely disturbed, but at the same time I also found it comical. So it was like a mix of both being comical and disturbing at the same time. I just could not believe it because it was just so mind-numbingly stupid and so mind-numbingly outrageous at the same time. So yes, I have discussed the far right president of Brazil who is basically a borderline fascist, or at least at least at the very minimum is a neo-fascist. I mean, the guy is a right-wing extremist. He's authoritarian. He's anti-gay. He's bigoted against indigenous people, and he's like a borderline racist. And that's the thing I wanted to discuss. So come to find out, this fucking piece of shit, some way, somehow, got a Indigenous Merit Medal, government honors president who activists accuse of undermining indigenous protections. So, Jair Bolsonaro, who has been destroying the Amazon rainforest and has been forcibly separating indigenous people from all walks of life, destroying their land and everything else, and has also made bigoted comments about indigenous people and Afro-Brazilians in the past. But somehow this guy was granted the Medal of Indigenous Merit this past Wednesday in recognition of what the Justice Ministry called his attempts to defend the indigenous communities in the South American country. The same honor was bestowed upon key Bolsonaro allies, including his health, defense, and agricultural ministers, and the hardline institutional secretary, Chief Augusto Heleno, who has accused indigenous activists of committing crimes against the state by criticizing the government's policies overseas. So in his mind, it's a crime to criticize the government's policies overseas. Who makes comments like that saying it's a crime to criticize the government? That sounds a little authoritarian, doesn't it? Oh yeah, that's right, because Jair Bolsonaro is authoritarian, and his government is authoritarian by every stretch of every imagination. It's a right-wing dictatorship by every single stretch. But of course is the US or the Western world bothered by this? Now they are, for some reason, and the reason is because now Jair Bolsonaro's palling around with fucking Vladimir Putin and defending him while Putin is, actively aggressing against Ukraine and so on. So now all of a sudden, Jair Bolsonaro is bad in the eyes of our government because he was great before. He was great in the eyes of our government before, but now, oh yeah, now he's bad. But so all the other stuff he's been doing, literally look the other way while blaming Cuba and Venezuela for every bad thing in Latin America and the Caribbean, while this guy is going around undermining indigenous people's rights, undermining LGBT rights, and undermining women's rights and the rights of minorities, racial, religious, and LGBT people. The rights of religious and racial minorities in the LGBT community. So yes, that's what this guy is doing. But somehow this guy got an Indigenous Merit Medal. That is like the same equivalent as fucking Hitler getting a Jewish Merit Medal. It would be like the same equivalent as David fucking Duke getting an African American Merit Medal. It's literally no different. It's no different than any of this, because how could it be? It's how can this guy get a medal for indigenous merit? It's unfucking believable. Like I said, it would be no different. You would be giving fucking Adolf Hitler a medal for Jewish merit. That's literally the same thing. It's unbelievable what this world is coming to and what fascism is doing to the world. This is what the right wing does. Whatever the right wing touches, they destroy. This is what they are doing with the power they have. This is what they're doing with the power that they have. They are destroying their countries from within. This is what the right wing in this country has been doing for so long. This is what they're trying to do in many parts of this country. Need I go on? Florida and Texas especially. And yes, this is what Jair Bolsonaro is doing to Brazil. This is what his authoritarian right-wing extreme fascist government is doing. It's got to be the biggest hypocritical crock of bullshit that I've ever heard. Okay, so if you want to give this guy an Indigenous merit medal, then why don't we give I don't know, well, that'd be like the equivalent of giving the government of an anti-LGBT African nation an LGBT medal. Okay, like I don't know, like why don't we give the government of Uganda an LGBT merit medal? Or something like that. Or Charles Taylor of Liberia, the former dictator of Liberia that massacred Sierra Leone's people in the civil war that Liberia had with Sierra Leone. Why don't we give Charles Taylor the Sierra Leonean merit medal? Okay, why don't we do that? If we're gonna play this game, then should all these shitty people in history get the same thing? Because that's what Jair Bolsonaro gets. So, Jair Bolsonaro is the definition of a genocidal maniac, okay? What he is doing to indigenous people in Brazil in the past and in the present is genocide. Like, this guy needs to be dealt with. He is a horrible, horrible fucking person. He is an evil, horrible person, and he needs to be removed from power by any means necessary, because he is destroying the planet, destroying the Amazon rainforest. He is a massive climate change denier. He is destroying indigenous people's right to live in peace and harmony. He's infringing on the rights of so many people, and the people that dare to disagree with him. He's a bad person. He is a sick person. He is an evil person. He is a horrible person. He is subhuman. He's a horrible person. He's easily the worst leader on the face of this planet right now. At this present moment, Jair Bolsonaro is perhaps doing more damage to the world than anybody right now, besides maybe Vladimir Putin with what he's doing. But the difference is, Vladimir Putin is just having his basically his bomb fest with Ukraine. But that's not really to say that Ukraine's really all innocent either. But I mean, look at the fucking neo-Nazis that are roaming around there. But that's a whole other thing. You know, just because there's neo-Nazis roaming around doesn't give Putin the right to go into Ukraine. I mean, it's just the whole thing is a big fucking mind fuck. I can't even get into it right now. I can't even get into it right now. I can barely even get into this video as I can. But like, no, like I'm against. I would be against a liberal leader, like for example, there are many leftist governments in Latin America, obviously, that the U.S. can't fucking stand, because God forbid there's a leftist leader in Latin America. We don't like it. Not we as Americans, I'm talking about our government. They don't fucking like it. The military-industrial complex doesn't like it, because they always need a fucking enemy. So I would be opposed to a leftist government going in and militarily interfering with Bolsonaro and trying to overthrow him, but I would never call for military intervention in Brazil or anything like that. But holy shit, like, I am in the midst of, like, where Jair Bolsonaro, like, I am 100% a diplomatic, transparent person, where Jair Bolsonaro and his fascist regime needs to be exposed at every turn, both in the political spectrum and on the diplomatic spectrum. Like, global leaders need to rally the way that they are going against Putin, because Putin is he is such the main focus at the moment that Jair Bolsonaro's crimes against humanity, against the indigenous populations, it's getting a lot of coverage, but it's not getting the amount of coverage that is needed, because this type of thing deserves this coverage. So global leaders need to rally together and call this guy out, because think about it. Bolsonaro is his own worst enemy. I mean, he's rallying around with Putin. Well, Putin is globally isolated. So what do you think Bolsonaro's going to do? Bolsonaro's going to screw it up for himself and screw it up for his country, and he's going to screw up Brazil's global reputation and foreign relations on the world stage as they crumble more and more day by day, because that's exactly what's going on. That's what Jair Bolsonaro has been doing from the beginning. But I hope that Brazilians can remove this guy, and I really hope that they do. And I don't think this guy will get a second term. I don't believe he will. And the indigenous people in Brazil are fuming about this, saying it's absurd, it's contemptuous. I couldn't agree with them more. Like, as a gay man, I would be infuriated if, say, okay, let's name a random homophobe in this country. Oh, I don't know, Rick Santorum, Tim Hulskamp, Marilyn Musgrave, Pat Robertson. It would be like giving Pat Robertson a medal of LGBT merit, or giving Rick Santorum a medal of LGBT merit. Okay, it's absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, no, I can totally understand why they're angry. They have every single right to be angry, but I just hope that Brazilians can remove this guy, because this guy has already done long-term damage to Brazil, and God forbid if he gets a second term, then he'll change Brazil in a fundamental way. Like, he'll do significant ruptures to Brazil's global reputation, democratic institutions, you name it. Like this guy will be all about revenge, all about authoritarianism, all about vengeance, everything. Just like his fucking butt buddy Donald Trump. That's why Jair Bolsonaro needs to be kept away from the political office by any means necessary. He must be prevented from ever securing another term as president of Brazil. And this guy needs to be exposed at every single turn by every stretch. Because Jair Bolsonaro gets a second term, Brazil is fucked. The U.S. gives Trump a second term, the U.S. is fucked. Because the more these people have power, the more that they're going to do with their power. We know what the right wing does with their power. We saw what happened with Nazi Germany. That didn't end well. We saw what happened with Mussolini. That didn't end well. We're seeing we saw what happened with right-wing authoritarian governments that the U.S. propped up throughout Latin America and the Caribbean throughout the years. Didn't end well. We saw what Batista did in Cuba. Didn't end well. We saw what what happened in Bolivia during the coup that ousted Evo Morales of Bolivia, the secular, progressively president of Bolivia. We saw what happened with that. We saw what Janine Áñez did with her power as a Christian fundamentalist, corrupt asshole. That didn't end well. So yeah, these people need to be exposed at every turn. They all do. Because they are detrimental to the world. They are detrimental to every fabric of peaceful global societies. Because everything that these people touch, they destroy. I'm not talking about people with just simple, traditional, conservative beliefs. I'm talking about actual fucking fascists. Like Jair Bolsonaro, like Janine Áñez, like Donald Trump, like Vladimir Putin, and multiple others. And these people need to be exposed at every turn and be kept away from power by any means necessary. Because Bolsonaro he's just a bad person all around. They need to remove him from power. They need to vote him out of office. I wish the people of Brazil well. I really wish them well. I feel bad they got to live with this disgusting fucking piece of shit destroying their fucking country. I feel bad, especially for the indigenous people, LGBT people, and people that and minorities in Brazil that have to suffer because of this fucking piece of shit. I feel for them. My thoughts are with them. I feel for them completely. And my message is to the people of Brazil: get this guy out of office. My thoughts are with you as an American, because trust me, the United States of America certainly has had its fair share of fucking shitty leaders. We removed our shitty leader in the 2020 elections. So let's hope that Brazilians can do the same in 2022 and beyond. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here because I gotta head to bed. I'm gonna upload this video. I'm gonna probably upload this video in the morning. You're probably all that are seeing this. I'll upload this while I'm sleeping, probably, or whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll see you all again soon. Stay tuned to find out more content, more stuff on the way. Stay tuned for more. This is Zach, the Saltless Guy, saying thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. My thoughts with the people of Brazil, the indigenous populations of Brazil and elsewhere that are being undermined. My thoughts are with all of you. May peace be with all of you. To everyone else, see you all again in the next video. More stuff in the works. Stay tuned. And just hopefully the Brazilian indigenous populations and other minorities can be protected, because this shit is really fucked up. This shit needs fixing. Peace out.